Irish guy, and yeah, so it's that time of year again. Does anyone have predictions fever? No, not me, because I always get them wrong. Lads, people say that my predictions ability are like chewy wet dog food, right? That I've supposedly got the worst predictions on the internet. No, lads. I refuse to believe this. It's redemption time. I mean, the championship is supposed to be the most impossible league in the world to predict, right? Well, just imagine that by next May, if this video has 24 out of 24 correct predictions, not only will this go viral in the papers, but honestly, I might even get an email from NASA. So honestly, lads, just watch. This is going to be a predictions master stroke. Right, let's go. 24th, Wigan Athletic. Okay, look, I'm sorry, Wigan. I know, me tipping you to finish rock bottom of the championship. It's almost a bit mean, right? I mean, a bit like storming into your granny's nursing home and telling her that she's got a face that looks like a mouse's bum. I mean, nobody asked. But lads, I know Wigan have had a brilliant pre-season. I mean, Christ, well, you just beat Liverpool 6-0. Well, the Liverpool reserves and children. And honestly, the away dressing room was probably just filled with sweets and Peppa Pig toys. But weirdly, someone who sat on the bench for Wigan in that game was Jamie Carragher's son. Yeah. He's also a centre-back. Bit weird. Lads, I know Wigan won the League One title, but you ended the season playing with the sloppiness of a fat guy eating cake on the bus. I'm sorry, 1 win for your last 6 matches against third-tier opposition. I mean, the DW Stadium was supposed to be a fortress, right? And you lost 6 games at home. Weirdly, 4 of them by the same 2-1 score line. I mean, Sunderland beat you at this ground twice. Lads, you've got a lot of Irish in your squad. So I do want you to stay up, but I'm sorry, lads. This is going to be an ugly season for you. I mean, the poor manager, Liam Richardson, by November, he's very quickly going to realise that this is about as much fun as making love to a hedgehog. 23rd Reading. 2 words. Paul Ince. A man whose entire career in management has basically just been bring your kid to work day. He seems to be the only manager who refuses to see that his son, despite those 2014 links to Inter Milan, he actually has the end product of a toilet brush. But lad, Paul was out of work for 8 years. I mean, before he took this job, he was just doing carpool karaoke in Mark Goldberg's car. I mean, what business does he have being the manager of Reading? Yes, they've just signed Shane Long 11 years after he quit the club, but I mean, lad, he's 36 in January. I like the man, he's an Ireland hero, but I'm sorry, Shane. His last season in Reading colours, he got 21 goals, yes, but before that, he netted 6 goals in 31 games. That 21 goal campaign was a 1-season wonder for his career. I mean, he's never come close to doing that since. Sorry, Reading fans, but do you think he's scoring 20 goals again? Nope, there's more chance of him being able to juggle a bus. If he even scores 10 championship goals this season, I'll promise to eat a chocolate muffin out of a public bin. I'm sorry, but it's relegation, with Ince sacked in December, and with the job given to Alan Pardew? I mean, Pardew makes more sense than Ince. Right, lads, if you're new here, pretty simple. Just hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to 150k as soon as possible. Come on, if you're new, then just join us. Sounds a bit creepy, actually. 22nd, Birmingham City. Birmingham City are in utter chaos. I mean, the season just ended for them in horrible fashion. No wins in the last 6 games and conceding 6 at Blackpool. And I thought Lee Boyer was going to get them up. And he's since been sacked, but the whole thing is just gloomy. I mean, their pre-season, they've lost away at Cheltenham and Solihull Moors. Oh, Birmingham fans, they don't even want the season to start. Sorry, Brum, but your manager John Eustace will be given the boot in January. And then, lads, the manager is going to officially relegate you, Alex McLeish. Again, you know, the guy who won you a cup and then ran off to Aston Villa. Someone with the morals of a foot. 21st, Blackpool. Neil Critchley, what have you done? He was doing a great job at Blackpool, but he's since just gone to put up the bibs at Villa Park. I don't understand, Neil. What are you doing? I mean, Michael Beale just quit that role of making Stevie G his coffee to go and get a championship job at QPR. And you're giving up a championship job to, yeah, just go and buy Stevie his toilet paper?
Oh, but it's such a great opportunity to work under such a footballing legend.
Sorry, Neil, but you worked with Jurgen Klopp. You were actually briefly the manager of Liverpool in the FA Cup 4th round. But so Blackpool have now given the job to Michael Appleton. 10 years ago, he was the shortest serving coach in the club's history, quitting after just 11 games. So why are you going back for him now? It's like agreeing to ring up a woman who you went on a date with in 2012. You know, the one who walked out on dinner and escaped through the bathroom door before the main course had even arrived. Appleton is a decent League One coach for teams like Oxford and Lincoln, but in the Championship, his very basic tactics are going to quickly resemble a child's doodle pad. Ozzy, this season is going to be a stinker. Trust me, he'll be quitting the club again in January and forcing you to appoint Sean Maloney. You know, the former Wigan winger who weirdly spent 3 years as Belgium assistant coach. Alright, so let me get this straight. During Euro 2020, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Eden Hazard were being given football lessons by Sean Maloney and Graham Jones. What is this? 20th Rotherham. Rotherham were brilliant for 2/3 of last season in League One, but don't forget, they very nearly bottled promotion up a tree. Just 4 wins from the last 12 League One games, but Paul Warne has been there since 2016. This is a stable management job. I mean, sure, on paper, their first team looks about as intimidating as a child's Batman and Robin lunchbox, but I am expecting a superstar season from Irish forward Chidozie Ogbene. Honestly, he's going to explode with a 15-goal season before getting snapped up next summer for £20 million by Fulham, 19th Hull City. Last season, I put my faith in Hull. I mean, I said they would finish second in the league, and you came 19th. I was made to look like I've got the ball knowledge of broccoli. Thanks, Hull. So this season, oh, don't you worry, I'm not making that mistake again. Your manager is Shota Arveladze. How weird is that? It's so un-Hull. I mean, apart from their brief fling with Marco Silva, this is a club who exclusively deal with unfashionable British coaches like Phil Brown, Ian Dowie, Nigel Pearson, Steve Bruce, Nigel Adkins. Managers about as exciting and sexy as a tin of mouldy baked beans. I mean, honestly, if all these men lined up at the beach with their shirts off, you'd be tempted to phone the police. So Arveladze, a 49-year-old Georgian coach, yeah, a Rangers goal machine back in 2003, yes, but as a manager, I mean, how random was this pick? Sorry, but he's in line for a Christmas sack. And in comes Tony Pulis to scream at his players until his lungs start to hurt. You'll stay up, but again, just 18th Huddersfield Town. Yeah, last season Huddersfield lost a playoff final after ending the season with 6 wins for the last 7 games. And I'm predicting 18th position in the league. Is this some sort of sick joke, right? Sorry lads, but your hard work from last season is gonna fall apart. Your miracle working boss Carlos Corberán has since quit the club. I mean, you're in the hands of Danny Schofield now. Probably a nice guy, yes, but he looks like he's got the authority of a substitute high school teacher. You know, the typical uni graduate with a chin strap beard and who supervises some year 9 geography class, who spends the entire 40 minutes just swiping Tinder on his phone. You've also lost key players like Harry Toffolo and Lewis O'Brien to Nottingham Forest. I'm sorry, but for the indignant Huddersfield fans who now want to hurl their granny's poo at me in the street, lads, go back 2 seasons ago. If I told you then, when you finished 20th in the championship and needed Emile Smith Rowe magic to keep you up, if I told you then that 2 summers later you'd be finishing 18th in the championship, you'd have taken that with a big smile on your face. So please, simmer down. 17th Coventry City. This is unfair, right? Coventry have been utterly brilliant in the championship under Mark Robbins, yes. I mean, last season, this team hustled the rest of the championship. I mean, everyone would have noticed them losing 7 pre-season friendlies in a row, conceding 20 goals and scoring 3. Everyone would have assumed the second season syndrome would have chewed them apart with a spoon, but no. They were brilliant last season too. But I don't know, to me, I just have a feeling they're gonna have a bumpy season. 16th Luton Town. Luton Town did brilliantly to squeak their way into the playoffs, yes. But does anyone just think that was the top of their mountain? That was an almost miracle redemption job. I mean, Nathan Jones, when he ditched Luton to go and live in grimy Stoke, it's a bit like walking out on your childhood sweetheart for that woman down the gym who looks a bit like Jabba the Hutt in a wig. So to come crawling back, when most Luton fans would have gladly seen Nathan Jones eat broken glass for tea, that took courage. And he was so nearly the man to take them into the Premier League last season. It would have been the biggest championship miracle job since Ian Holloway got Blackpool up in 2010. But think of the energy dump now. Those same players having to start all over again and telling them to get to another championship playoff final? No, it's Luton. It would be like at the end of the 3rd Lord of the Rings film. It would be like telling Frodo Baggins to go back to Mordor and fetch Gandalf his shoes. No! Again, he'd probably sooner let Gollum bite off his knob. I think this is going to be a sloppy season where Luton need to be careful not to sleepwalk their way to relegation. They're going to start the season horribly. It won't be good. And if Coley Woodrow scores 10 goals... Okay, sorry. I've learned my lesson with Coley. I mean, my tonsils still taste of cheese. 15th Blackburn Rovers. I bet loads of you think Blackburn are going to be in the playoffs next season, right? Nah, I know they've got some talented players on their books, but replacing a steady British coach like Tony Mowbray with John Dal Thomason. I mean, what? The former AC Milan centre forward who won the Champions League. An absolute Danish superstar who's only ever experienced in England, who's failing at Newcastle in 1998. Why? Why is he working for Blackburn? Just what? Sure, he's probably a demigod in training. I mean, Kreisel, his finishing ability, even at 45, will probably force Bradley Dack and Daniel Butterworth to be so insecure they'll probably start sobbing in the shower. But Thomason did a good management job with Malmo last season, yes. They won the league and knocked Rangers out of the Champions League qualifying round. That was brilliant. disappointment. Just reminds me of when the Venkies went out and got Henningberg. It's just so left field and bizarre. Trust me, Thomason will be out of a job by Halloween. Ozzy, by October, Thomason will have been sacked after losing 5 games in a row, and soon Duncan Ferguson will be in charge as they stumble over the line. Just you watch. 14th, Sunderland. Sunderland are back. And lads, they're not going back to League One. Yeah, they've got a chairman who probably still gets asked for ID at the bar. But lads, everyone wanted Roy Keane back as Sunderland manager, right? Yeah, in reality, if they'd actually given him the gig over Alex Neil, it would have been stupid. Lads, this is a team who have not lost since February. This is a big club equipped to dealing with the championship. I mean, Christ, well, they've got a manager who's been promoted from this division before. You really think Sunderland fans are scared? Quaking like Courage the Cowardly Dog? No, Sunderland will be fine. 13th, Bristol City. Nigel Pearson was brought to Bristol City to eventually get them into the Premier League, right? Well, they finished 17th last season. I'm gonna go for a slight improvement with 13th, but honestly, it's all a bit boring. 12th, Cardiff City. You know what, Cardiff? I appreciate the lack of self-awareness. For a team who just finished 18th in the championship, and yet this summer you've apparently spent it locked in talks with Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. What? No! Sorry lads, it's not what you want, but 12th. 11th, Swansea City. Keep Joel Pirro at all costs. Listen, Swansea City have a lot of goodwill on their shoulder from fans. They play football in an entertaining, attractive way, I get it. But lads, a spade's a spade. They still finished 15th last season. Anyone who thinks that Russell Martin is getting this team promoted, take your brain out of the sink. And especially when you just sold a promising midfield linchpin like Flynn Downs to West Ham, and you've replaced him by reaching into the past, bringing back Joe Allen to the Liberty Stadium 10 years after he quit the club for Liverpool. I mean, he left the club looking like a boy band member. He returns looking like someone who's just spent 10 years living in a cave and been forced to shower in a puddle of milk. Swansea will have an okay season. 11th. 10th, Watford. Okay, Watford fans are probably expecting to bounce back immediately, right? No chance. Dan Gosling has just come out and said that the Watford dressing room was a disgrace last season. So somebody, please give me an example of a relegated changing room that had a toxic atmosphere who came back up the next season. It doesn't happen. No, Watford need a shake-up because they've barely signed anyone. I mean, Rob Edwards is a 39-year-old managerial wonder kid, right? Former coach of England under-16s and the Vegans in League 2. How delightfully hipster, but it doesn't matter because he'll be gone by November. Have you not been paying attention to the puzzles, Rob? This is going to be a season on par with West Brom last season. Just a murky mid-table mess. Ozzy, by the end of the season, Watford are going to be managed by Fabio Cannavaro. You know, the former China coach who's also a Ballon d'Or winner? It's going to be so weird, but just you watch. It's happening. 9th, Millwall. Same as last season. Next, 8th, Preston. Lads, I think Preston will have a crack at promotion. The first credible crack in years. And no, I'm not talking about Paddy Murphy in a boxing ring. But lads, the fact that this club has never seen the Premier League ever is nothing short of a disgrace. This is a club who used to be the unbeaten invincibles of the sport, but they haven't actually been in the top flight since 1961. Sorry, but for a club of their size, that is a joke. They haven't even been in the championship playoffs since 2009. That has to change and fast. I think this will be an exciting season. They'll start the campaign brilliantly, but like QPR last season, they'll peter off by the spring. But honestly, at least it'll be a campaign to wake up the Preston fans who spent the last 5 years snoring in their seats. And by the way, in a world where it's clearly in fashion to sign your former players, I think it's inevitable that soon Andy Carroll is going to get a contract at Deepdale. Of course he is. Sign your former players, lads. 7th, QPR. QPR are inching ever closer to promotion, but once again, you're getting locked outside the playoffs. Sorry, lads, but Michael Beale might be a talented coach. And guys, he coached the underage teams at Liverpool. Oh yeah, and was briefly assistant manager at Sao Paulo, working alongside Rogério Ceni. You know that goalie who scored over 100 goals? How random a job was that? QPR are currently being coached by the former manager of Chelsea under-7s. Yeah. Under-7s, bringing through Tammy Abraham and Dominic Solanke back when they were both obsessed with Pokemon. This is without doubt the most unusual managerial CV in the entire division. I think he'll do a good job. QPR will play some nice attractive football. James Alcott will spend this Christmas drooling from the nose, but sorry lads, it won't be enough. 6th, Stoke City. Since getting relegated from the Premier League, Stoke have finished 16th, 15th, 14th and 14th. For a club who were supposed to immediately bounce back in 2019, then it's official. Stoke are trapped in a mid-table mess, and Mike O'Neill's stock despite his miracle work with Northern Ireland, he's probably now just looking like a managerial lump of toast. The smart money is saying that Stoke will finish 13th, right? I mean, I'll be so annoyed if they do. While I'm out here predicting 6th. Well lads, the game-changing signing is Dwight Gale. Yeah, he's 32 years old, but he's a championship goal machine, and you signed him for less than the price of a Terry's chocolate orange. Here's my prediction. This is a man who will bang in 30 goals, win the Golden Boot, and almost single-handedly drag Stoke into the playoffs. Honestly, watch out lads. Dwight Gale is going to explode. 5th, Middlesbrough. I expected Chris Wilder to do more with Middlesbrough last season. I mean, this man was a promotion specialist with Sheffield United, right? But he came to the Riverside in November, had a great start, but 2 wins from the last 8 games? You bottled promotion, Chris. For those thinking that Middlesbrough are now going to win the championship title, give your heads a shake. I mean, have you just eaten a toasty dipped in paint? They'll finish 5th, losing the playoff semi-finals. Just all a bit meh. 4th, West Brom. Here's my prediction. West Brom are going up. I mean, go back to Easter. There was no bigger punchline in English football than Steve Bruce. I mean, he'd been chased out of Newcastle after sitting 19th in the Premier League, and he ticked off another Midlands club by joining West Brom. Didn't win any of his first 5 games, and overseeing his team score once. Pathetic, right? But he slowly got the baggies to improve. They've made tidy midfield signings like Jed Wallace and Jason Malumbi. I think they'll have a great season. Typical championship Brucey ball. They will win ugly in the playoff final, with someone like Dara O'Shea scoring the winner off his tie in extra time. Honestly lads, Steve Bruce is not done in the Premier League. West Brom are going up. 3rd, Norwich City. No, Norwich City are not winning the championship again. No, just no. Daniel Farke was the championship title specialist. Dean Smith has never won a league. Ever. Yeah, I know they just signed Brazil midfield wonder kid Gabriel Sara from Sao Paulo. And yeah, they've just played Champions League Marseille off the pitch in pre-season. All the signs point to a Norwich title win and a Pookie Golden Boot, right? But lads, listen, it'll be another good season featuring big wins and pretty football, yes, but I'm going with 3rd in the playoff final defeat. Sorry, Dean, but it's just written in the stars. You nick Steve Bruce's Aston Villa job, and in return, he's gonna serve you with the most painful moment of your career. Honestly, lads, if Norwich win the league, then I will personally get a bus to Norwich and camp outside the stadium for 24 hours and beg everyone for forgiveness. It's not gonna happen. 2nd, Sheffield United. I was wrong about Paul Heckingbottom, but last season he did a great job. I mean, Sheffield United still have the core of their Premier League team. For some reason, Sander Berg is still on the payroll, and they've added well with Tommy Doyle for Man City and Kieran Clark for Newcastle. If they can finally find the batteries for Ryan Brewster's feet, then yeah, I'm backing them to bounce back up. 1st, Burnley. Burnley have lost 3 key centre halves this summer. Does nobody want to stick around and learn from Vincent Kompany, one of the best centre backs of all time? Well lad, I think Kompany is the next managerial genius. Another Patrick Vieira. A football legend with an aura, yes, but who's actually got tactical genius in his brain. Craig Bellamy and Vincent Kompany are the next managerial genius double act. The good cop and bad cop regime. Lads, I think Burnley are going to dominate this league to an extent where they're going to eat up a points total of 100, becoming the 6th best team in championship history. I mean, I wanted to say the best, but I mean, the record is Reading with 106. I mean, that is ridiculous. 106? But honestly, Burnley, you're going to have the league sewn up by March, and everyone will quickly realise that Kompany is the next big thing. I mean, forget the Wayne Rooney hype. Everton are going to be sniffing around this man by Christmas. Just you watch. Burnley are destroying this league. Anyway, that's what do you think? Let me know in the comments what do you think. Alright, tell me your championship predictions. Who's going up? Who's going down? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.